from each of his 2 starts, 2 total innings. It's a guy who's given up 1 run. So he was able to bounce back. I was happy with what Liberatore did today. I thought he was more of a positive than a negative for this team. His final line wasn't great. The 5 runs on 8 hits and 6 in the 3rd innings, but sometimes that line doesn't tell the whole story. And I think that I think he did his job. He kept the team in the game, gave the team an opportunity to win. Text message from the 618 says that fan interference decision was BS. I didn't like it either. I feel like if there's going to be a fan interference call, then like it has to impact the game, right? Like that's the thing I would say there, that I don't like the fact that there was not an opportunity to like get anything out of winning that decision. That's a really weird thing where you win the challenge, but the result is still the exact same, where the umpires can assess on the situation that it would have been a triple as is. So that was frustrating to see that play out the way it did. I guess I agree with the umpires in the sense that you don't think Michael Ciani's going to make that catch, but I also don't think it was a 100% sure thing that he wasn't going to make the catch. And certainly he was right in the vicinity of the ball. So even if he plays it off the wall well, he might be able to hold him to a double. So I did not like the decision being made that was going to be a triple. So I don't know. I don't know how you rule. If there's fan interference, I think there has to be some ramification to it, even if it's just taking the runner back, whatever it might be. Just the assumption that was going to be a triple, didn't love that. Another text message from the 618 says, proud of Pozo. Yeah, that was good stuff. From the 573 says, another tough loss, but I like the Cardinals hitting, just need the pitching to go along with it. In my opinion, we shouldn't use Roycroft in a close game anymore until he pitches better. Yeah, I think part of the Cardinals just don't have a lot of pitching right now. Like that doubleheader yesterday decimated what they had, and they just didn't have a whole lot out of the bullpen. Now we can make the argument, hey, should have they sent somebody down? And I think there's a possibility that maybe it's Roycroft, maybe it's somebody else. There's a possibility that somebody gets sent down and you get a fresh arm in there tomorrow. But you knew coming into today that you were already in a really tough spot in terms of who was going to be available. And at some point, guys just need to do their jobs. You know, we've had this conversation when it comes to Ryan Fernandez, because Fernandez has been put in a situation to he's been put in a situation to really help the team, and he has not been able to do so. And today was Chris Roycroft who was put in a position to really try to help the team. And unfortunately for Roycroft, he was unable to do so as well. We're like, honestly, right now, who do you really trust out of the bullpen? You obviously trust Ryan Helsley, even with what he did yesterday, but he wasn't going to pitch in that game today. You trust Phil Maton. I think Phil Maton has become, where would this team be without Phil Maton at this point? It's been pretty incredible to see what he has been able to do. So you trust Maton, but he's probably a guy that you're only pitching right now in games that you're leading. Same thing with JoJo Romero. I think you trust him. You trust Kyle Leahy. Let's give credit where credit is due. Kyle Leahy is another guy that you can trust as well. Outside of that, and John King did his job today, and John King certainly has a track record. There's some other guys who have track records, but I think the big thing right now is figuring out who you trust, and that's part of it at this point. So Zodiac comes in on the video chat, says Matz has looked good in long relief. Yeah, I don't really include him as part of this conversation because we're talking about guys who are going to pitch, in late innings, short stints. Like Matz is the guy who right now is coming in for longer stints. I agree with you. He's looked good, but just in terms of this conversation, and who is going to be available for this game and everything, Matz is kind of his own thing, and he's going to be in the starting rotation before we know it, because they are going to go to the 6-man rotation before we're about a week away from that happening. I think it's the 16th is when they go to that. So that's why I don't really include him. But to your point, yes, Matz is he's looked good, and I think he has done his job for sure. And I'm actually excited to see what we're going to see from him from a starting standpoint. And I'm not, this is a post-game show about today's game, not yesterday's game, but going back to yesterday, Miles Michaelis really, really struggled. And he's a guy who's got the second highest ERA over the last 2 seasons across all of Major League Baseball. You have to think that the leash there might be somewhat short when you have Steven Matz, when you have Michael McGreevy, when you've got some other guys who can move into a role. So there might be some other changes that are going to be coming up at some point in time. Text message from 314 says it's the same old thing with the Cardinals year after year. I would like you to text in and explain that a little bit more, because it's not the same old thing with the Cardinals year after year. Yeah, last year they stunk offensively and they had an incredible bullpen. This year they are excelling offensively and the bullpen's not doing the job. So when you say it's the same old thing, I don't know what you're talking about right there, because it's not the same old thing. Are you saying it's the same old thing in the sense that they're losing games? Well, you say year after year, they've been losing more games than you would like now for the last 2 years plus this one. They were a really good team just a couple years ago before they've kind of gone to this downturn. And of course, last year even they were an above 500 team that was contending for a playoff spot and was in a playoff position for much of the year. So I don't know the point that you're trying to make when you text in and say it's the same old thing year after year, because if it was the same old thing year after year, then it would be they're winning a lot of ball games, because essentially that's what they have done from a year after year standpoint. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. That's how you call. That's how you text. You can tweet in as well at Matt Pauley on air. We've also got the video stream going. Feel free to comment in on that, and we'll keep this conversation going in just a moment as we continue on with the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX.
The 2-0. He swings and he mashes that one deep left field. That's his first Cardinal home run. Pozo lines one about 20 feet fair down the left field line. The Cardinals are trailing by 2.
Yeah, pretty cool for him. That's probably the most positive thing that happens in this game. Pozo getting the opportunity with Ivan Herrera going down. We'll see how that plays out. Obviously, Pedro Pajes is going to be the guy who's going to get most of the playing time here moving forward. But Pozo, he's hit everywhere he's gone. He can also play a little bit of first base if you need him to. So maybe at some point he's in the mix at first base or a DH. Maybe he's just kind of the standard backup catcher, and you hope to get something from him at the plate when he's in there. But nonetheless, it was a really cool thing for him. He spoke in the Cardinals clubhouse after the game. This audio is courtesy of our friends over at FanDuel Sports Network Midwest.
Feels pretty good in the individual part, but I mean, doesn't matter too much to me because we lose a game. We're trying to win, and I'm trying to help the team win, but we don't get it today. Happy because I can, connect the homer, but I prefer to win the game.
Take me through that at bat.
He threw me a sweeper for a ball, and then he threw a splitter for a ball, and then I was hitting on fastball, and he hanged the splitter, and then I connect really good.
Did you get a chance to just look up and catch eyes with your family? I mean, you talked about how emotional this day was for you. Did you get a chance to, just look up there and see them?
Yeah, I mean, when I hit the home run, I knew where they were hitting, so I signed to them. I mean, I just see them outside on the field. It was great.
You take your family with you on just about every road trip.
Yes.
How special is that to have them here for your debut?
So the reason why I take my family with me to every road trip is because my special needs. I prefer that if he have a episode, if he got an episode, I'm with him, so I can run to the emergency room or anything. So that's why I always take them to the road, minor leagues and big leagues.
Throwing out the runner, Pauley said he loves how you can control the running game. Did you get a good read on that one? Good pitch to throw?
Yeah, I mean, it was really good pitch by Levy. That he threw me like outside pitch, so I can make a good throw. I was working with Descalso about the running game, and he prepared really good to get me a chance.
What did you see from Libby? Able to steady himself. He had a rough start, but then he got it together.
I mean, he's nasty. He's nasty. Like his curveball combination with the fastball up and the sinker with the slider was really good today. I love what he did today.
That was Joel Pozo, new Cardinals catcher, speaking to the media. That audio is courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network Midwest. So I don't know the backstory, the details on something that he mentioned there, but I thought it was pretty cool. He made reference to the fact that he is a special needs child, which I did not know about that until just listening to him talk, and that's why he always has his family with him on every road trip, which I can tell you, when you're a minor league player and you're traveling your family on every single trip, that can't be easy. That cannot be easy at all. So kudos to that's just a cool story. But for him saying that, hey, if my kid has to go to the hospital, if he has an episode or something, I want to be there. Man, that says a lot about him as a dude. That's what I took out of that. Honestly, I know this is a baseball post game show and everything. But just to hear that part of it tells me a lot about Pozo as a guy, and that's really cool. That's a really, really cool part to this story. So hopefully I'll get the chance to meet him when the Cardinals get St. Louis, and look forward to meeting him, maybe getting a little more on that backstory, because to me that's the coolest thing about the night. Before it was the home run, then now it was the story that he shared right there. So, and if you did not hear kind of the story about him traveling in, he was with Memphis, but getting to Pittsburgh was not easy. So he had to travel first thing in the morning. He was traveling with his entire family, and then he didn't land in Pittsburgh until about 2:00 in this afternoon. And then he is immediately in the lineup. So what a day for him. And he had said pregame, if you heard the pregame show, he had mentioned pregame that in many ways this felt like a major league debut again, because it's been a while. It's been since 2021 since he was last in the big league. So cool stuff right there. Really cool stuff right there. Text message from the 435 talking about Matthew Liberatore. You said the text reads, he gave up 5 runs and you're saying he did his job. Yeah, I am. Sometimes you got to look past the box score. He did his job today. One of those runs was given up after he left the game. So he gave up 4 runs, and then the inherited runner scores. He had an unfortunate second inning where he gave up 3 runs, and then he locked in after that, and he put up 0 after 0 after 0 after 0 and did not give up another run. So it took him a moment to kind of settle in, but he did. And on a day where the bullpen was in a really tough spot, yeah, I would argue that Matthew Liberatore did his job today. He kept the team in the game. He gave up the 4 runs before he came out. Again, the inherited runner scores, not a whole lot he can do about it. Still goes on his line. I understand that. But I stand by my statement that he did his job, and I have no problem saying that whatsoever. From the 314 text message says the Cardinals need to get their act together immediately. We cannot afford to have another losing season. They really need to reset and recharge. Peter sending it. Well, again, from a technical standpoint, last year was a failed season in the sense that they did not make it to the playoffs, and the stated goal was for them to be a playoff team. But last season was not a losing season. They had a winning record last year, but the point remains the same. And, I think we got a glimpse of what this team could be when they opened up the season with those wins against the Twins, and you felt really good. And, the offense has obviously taken a step forward, but they, that first game yesterday that they ended up losing, like that's the type of loss that you just can't have. And then you go into Pittsburgh against a team that's not very good. You got to have success, and they still have an opportunity to win the series. We got a text message or a message on our video chat from Bill that said it could be a 12-game losing streak because of who they have coming up. Like, no, it can't be. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess it can be technically, but it's not going to be. They're going to win. They're going to win some games in this series. They're going to win games moving forward, but they've just got to win more games than they're winning right now. This program is being presented by Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. What's on Deck is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best. ChesterfieldFence.com. Cardinals Pirates game 2 of this series is going to be coming up tomorrow evening. Sonny Gray against Paul Skeens. That is the pitching matchup. Another 5:40 first pitch, and our coverage is going to begin at 4:45. So tough night tonight, obviously, for the Cardinals. They end up losing by an 8-4 score. I think no matter how positive or how negative you are about this team right now, I think we can all agree that they got to play better than what they've done in this Boston series and now here against Pittsburgh. They are a better team than they've shown. How much better, I don't know, but they are better than they've shown, and it's going to be important that they find a way to get things going once again. Thanks to everybody being tuned in tonight. We'll talk to you again real soon here on KMOX.